Hey everybody, it's Charlie, and I unfortunately am out of town this week and unable to record an episode of the Daily Motor Podcast. But to keep up with consistency, we're still going to release an episode and instead release a pre-unreleased episode, if you will. This is actually episode 2 of the Daily Motor Podcast. Anyone who's been listening regularly knows that our public episodes actually started on 3. That's because I recorded 2 test episodes, if you will, with my buddy Max. Now, these were recorded kind of before Chris was really heavily involved and sort of before we kind of got into a groove with the Daily Motor podcasts. But this one was a lot of fun, and it's been available to Daily Motor members now for a while, but I thought this was a good opportunity to release it to everyone else. Keep in mind, it's a little less centered on any sort of specific topic, the way our current episodes are, and a little more eccentric, maybe a little bit more crude at times. So enjoy, have fun. Max is a great radio personality, if you will, and we had a lot of fun doing it. And maybe later on this year, you'll hear episode 1 that I also recorded with Max. Maybe that one will go up when Alyssa and I are on our honeymoon or something like that. But either way, enjoy. Chris and I will be back next week to recap the cars we had and the new cars we have coming in. But until then, enjoy episode 2 of the Daily Motor Podcast. No, like toward you.
Like this?
Yeah, so you can lean back. So
This is okay. Well, the thing is it leans so far back. I don't know if I want to lean that far back.
All
So
right.
I'm probably just going to go like this.
Okay.
Tell me if it's not the right. It sounds fine in
Yeah, it seems
my
like it
headphones.
sounds fine. Yeah. All right. What's going on, everybody? It's Charlie and Max with episode 2 of the Daily Motor Podcast. Back here to talk cars. That's that's pretty much what's on the agenda and what we cars and maybe life if it comes along. And we have a video portion now, so all of you can stare at our fat faces and
Bodies.
Yeah, I think according to YouTube's monetization, we can swear after the first 30 seconds of the video. So
Okay.
I think
I think we've almost eclipsed that at this point.
Yeah, I guess I don't think I
So-
looked at the when we actually started, but don't feel like you can't drop F-bombs just right at the beginning. So there you so
ASMR people out there.
yeah, just whisper sweet fucking nothings into your ear. So Max is now an orderee of a RAM TRX.
I am. Yeah.
Tell us about the spec.
Oh gosh. Well.
Also, you're leaning back right now.
I'm
I
sorry,
fucking told
I'm
you you were
sorry.
going to want to lean back. Just
So-
pull the mic back.
Here, I
Pull the
will
mic back.
fucking pull it back. God damn it. So, yeah, I've ever since the TRX was starting to come out this last summer in August, I got all the embargoed papers about it and stuff, and I've been wigging about the truck since then, and it's kind of like caused me to like change as a car enthusiast, I feel like, because for the longest time, I've just been a real like hardcore gung-ho sports car guy, rear-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, turbo, supercharged, whatever. Lots of power and quickness. And I don't know.
You've owned a lot of cars, but only one truck, correct?
Yep.
You had a 2002 Ram?
2005 Ram 1500 with a Hemi
Okay.
back in the day. Also, when gas was over $4 a gallon.
You just wait for gas to spike,
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
you buy the least efficient vehicles.
Exactly.
But other than that, you've had SRT4s,
Yep.
you've had
WRX,
WRX, Accords,
the
Civics, Caprice. Do you have a Civic too, or just
Yeah, I had a
Accord?
Civic.
Yeah,
Yep.
You had
Yep.
Volvo S40.
Mhm.
Yeah, so all cars, but then the one Ram.
Yep. And I had a Town and Country, just like you.
Oh yeah, that's right, on your
For
bologna
a
skins.
moment. Yep, with the robin's egg green blue paint.
Oh boy.
But yeah, so I don't know. I've just been kind of like obsessed with the truck, and it's made me like really start to think about like overlanding and going out into like Michigan, especially has just a plethora of ORV trails. So I've been
People
in
from
touch.
Colorado are hearing this go.
Well,
you don't
yeah,
shit,
no, I know.
Michigan.
It's different for sure. No big mountains or anything like that, but it's definitely beautiful in its own way. And there's a couple of groups out here in Michigan that do that kind of stuff. So we're gonna link up with them. I've been talking to some of those guys, but I think just having a dog and getting married and stuff has just really made me realize like there's more to car stuff and things like that than just like ripping asphalt and racing people and stuff, which I can still
I was gonna say
do,
with the TRX you could still do
just
that.
fine. Yeah. So
what tires come on that?
It comes with the Goodyear Wrangler MT, I believe is what the new, Territory MT. It's a new tire though, the Wrangler Territory.
You gonna stick with that?
For the
Because I feel like you don't need anything super hardcore right now.
Yeah, for the beginning, I'm going to. Beard did actually just bring this up to me last week, that they're only M&S and not TPMSF. So for the people that don't know what that is, that's Triple Peak Mountain Snowflake or severe winter snow rated. So I don't know how good or bad they'll be in the winter, but like...
Dog. Like 19-year-old Max would be looking at you right now, dude. Bruh, do you know what I've made it through in the winter with fucking the tires I've had? You don't need Triple Mountain Snowflake.
I know. I think it's
TRX.
just partially being like, having winter tires on literally everything in the winter for so long, and like Marissa doing it with her S6 and stuff, that I just want to like always have something that's like ready to go for any situation. So I'm interested to see, but TFL Truck says that it's pretty good in the snow.
Dude, fuck
them. Yeah, fuck them.
Yeah.
But for what it's worth.
Yeah.
I might do like KO2s though the second time around when the time finally comes, because they're a little bit more aggressive, and like at 8 miles per gallon, like
it does some funny.
Yeah, half mile per gallon is not really going to make much of a difference anymore at that point.
Yeah. So you're getting it in gray.
But yeah, the spec. I just had to give that little preface because I just feel like it's
well, and you've been
necessary.
seeing the TRX be in development at Chrysler Proving Grounds for
a long I've been looking at them in camo, hearing like a literally normal Ram 1500 driving like full bore down the Proving Grounds road with a supercharger whine louder than the stock trucks and all that kind of stuff. So it was a big long tease, and obviously since the concept came out for the 2016 Detroit NAIAS. I'm sorry if I knocked that over, but...
I just don't know why there's a Bose speaker underneath here.
Oh, I don't either. Maybe I'll take that. No. But yeah, so I don't know. I've just been kind of obsessed with it, and now that I've gotten to order one, I went with pretty much everything I wanted except for the beds, like the bed group or whatever. That's like the spray-in bed liner, that deployable step on the back.
So you're just gonna have a metal
tie down. So
bed.
hear me out. I'll tell you the full spec before I tell you that. But so I'm doing the granite crystal for the paint. That's like a $250 option, sadly, even though they only give you like 6 basic ass colors to choose from, despite Chrysler having like the best colors.
They have really cool colors.
Yeah, like I bet you like in 2 years, if they still make it, it'd have a bunch. But
well, the Wrangler, you can get like 20 colors all at no cost.
Oh yeah, I know. And like they've got like dark purples and like all sorts of stuff. So in the future, I may or may not like change it or wrap it or something.
Okay.
But I got the granite crystal because that's the least offensive of all of them. And then I went with the TR1 interior. So it's not base. It's kind of like the halfway interior with leather. I also found out when you're building it, you can actually select the cloth interior with any trim.
That's neat.
So like you can get the TR2 that has like the wireless phone charger and like all of the ADAS stuff and all that, and still get the cloth like red and like it's the Rebel interior. So you can still do that, which is kind of cool. But I went for the leather just because I like that and I think it looks awesome. And I'm gonna try and keep it clean, regardless of whether I'm off-roading or not.
Sure.
But the TR1 plus, I think I did the Park Sense front and rear just for like when you're pulling up to like, a sign in a parking lot or some shit and you can't see.
Yeah.
And then
if you didn't, whenever you go to sell it in like 10 years, someone would be like, what the fuck? Who the fuck spec'd this without parts?
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I was thinking about it, and I was like, I'm not just going to, like, cut off a couple $1,000s to, like, be a miser. I mean, dude, there's, like, no reason. So then at that point, I was like, well, I'm just going to get the surround camera, too, and the blind spot. So that ended up throwing on, like, $2,000 extra over what I wanted.
Okay.
I went with the Harman Kardon as well. That was, like, really the only standalone, like, sexy option, if you will. I wanted the carbon fiber pack, but it was like another $1,200, and I'm already at like $82.
Yeah.
So I was like, no. And let's see, the remote start used to be an a la carte option. That's now rolled into the truck because everyone was like, this is a $70,000 truck.
Give me a remote
Like,
start.
there's absolutely no reason that a Bighorn Ram should come with remote and it's not, or whatever. So, yeah, so that's in there, and it comes with Uconnect 5.
Oh,
so,
good.
Yeah, so
That's a
it should be good, and I'm excited to get it all going. And once I get the truck and have it for a month or two, I'm gonna, over those first 2 months, do the tints. So I'm gonna do like 20% on the front windows, and then the windshield I'll do 35% on. And then I'm gonna have like Line-X do the bed, because I don't need the tie down things, and I don't need that step, because it just messes with your your departure angle.
Oh,
a little bit. So
Okay.
everyone ends up taking them off anyways. So I'm just like, screw that. I took that off, or I'm going to take that off by not having the package. And then
and our buddy Sean, he works at Truck Hero now, right?
Yes.
Can he hook you up with anything for it, like the bed liner or anything?
Maybe.
'Cause that's what they do,
So
right?
he told me they have like this carpet bed liner thing that you like pop in, and it looks okay, but it just looks kind of like ratty. Like, I'd much rather just go pay like twice as much and get like a thick spray
Proper,
and
like
bed
you just
liner.
drop things in.
That's why I'm doing the one at Line-X though, because the RAM one, I have heard countless complaints that it's just too thin.
Okay.
You put like, you're pushing like a metal rod through there or something, or like,
Gotcha.
something really heavy, and it just like digs right through. And
Maybe
then
we can get you
gouges the
sponsored.
bed.
Line-X. if you're
Dude,
watching.
oh my gosh,
get
yeah,
you,
Line-X, if you're
get you-
listening, I will put a fat sticker on my truck.
Yeah, sell out.
And
Max
talk
will
to
sell
everyone.
out for anything.
Yeah, dude.
Yep. Tell them all about it.
It's gonna have to fit in there with all the gun manufacturer stickers, but that's okay.
There you go. You put like a gun case in the back, like.
No, I've got plans for that sort of stuff though.
Cool.
Too.
That's gonna be exciting, man. And you're supposed to take delivery late December.
Late
early
December
January?
is like the absolute earliest. I do not think that's going to happen at all.
Sure.
Just with everyone talking about like this winter having like supply chain issues and stuff. But for what it's worth, it doesn't have anything like special or like kind of like off the normal like the carbon fiber trim or anything like that would be scarce.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm hoping that it'll be quick, but I think the most realistic is probably sometime mid to end January. I think that's probably when it'll like actually come.
Okay.
And I'm gonna lease it.
Is it oh, you are leasing it?
Yeah, just because to finance it.
Yeah. Would've been
Like just for
900
anyone
a month.
wondering, like my truck's like $82,000. To finance the truck with like 10 to 15,000 down. Like I was gonna put like 10 or 12 down. With a like 5 or 6 year, you're still looking at like $1,200, $1,300, $1,400 a month, and like I'm just not trying to like take away that much of my liquid income. So I just felt like leasing up front, you can put down like 6,000 or 7,000, and it still goes towards the truck, but your payment's like 800 or 900. And then you can buy it afterwards. And like, honestly, for me right now, just with the way the economy and everything is, I'd just rather keep as much money in my pocket as possible and still be able to have the truck, because the fuel is expensive too, and everything else that goes with it. So
Will it be a 21 or 22 model year?
22.
Nice. I'll have a 22.
Yep. I managed to make it 5 model years between this new car and the last new car.
That's
Because the WRX was the last car that I bought, and it was also new. So
yeah.
kind of probably lost money overall in that, but gained so much in knowledge and happiness.
Right.
That was
a cool car.
Really fun car.
That was a 2016?
17. And it had no
that makes
issues. Like ever. Can you ever think of a time other than like when Charlie and I couldn't get the downpipe off the turbo that it had to go to the shop?
No. You
either.
guys did a lot on that. And,
I changed the oil religiously every 3,000 miles with Motul 8100.
How many miles did you put on it? Like 10?
32.
You put 32,000 miles? I guess you had it longer than I realized.
I owned it for like a year and a half or 2 years. I put like as much as you're putting on the Model Y. It's
Okay.
because I was driving from Brighton every day too.
Yeah, that's
that was
true.
like 50 miles just in my commute alone every day.
Right.
And then
and you were going all over the place.
Yeah.
Just lean, things like that. Yeah.
drifting in the snow.
That's a cool car. It was.
It was fun. Honestly, like that's probably even more so than the Neon, like the car that I miss more than anything, because
I almost asked you that
it was
today. I didn't
so
think you would.
reliable. It was so reliable. It like just anything I ever did to it, like I was able to fix the problems that would arise, and like I knew everything that had been done to it, and all the things that I did to it was specifically so it would be as reliable as possible.
That's true.
Removing all the emissions equipment. Don't tell the EPA. But
EPA, if you're listening, go fuck yourself.
yeah, go fuck yourself.
So, what's going to happen when you pull up to a stoplight and a fucking Raptor R comes up next to you?
Oh my God. Hopefully I'll have my tune by then. I don't know. I think it'd be really interesting to see how that truck kind of pans out, you know? Like we were talking about in the car earlier with that engine having not as much low-end grunt as the Hellcats.
I just do not think the Raptor could come as close to being an exciting truck as the TRX. I mean, the The TRX, just the engine has more character. I mean, because it's going to be the 5.2 from the Shelby, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, don't get me wrong, that motor's awesome, but I just don't see it having the wildness character.
I will say, I think I love the GT500.
Yeah, we talked about that last time. You like the GT500 more than I do.
Gets me really excited, but I just don't know if that engine like suits itself as well to a truck.
Yeah.
Whereas the Hellcat, it's almost like the other way around.
Yeah, I don't think
and
the
the
Hellcat
Hemi
motor
started
suits
off
itself
in the
to
trucks for
right.
like, most recently.
You get the Hellcat like in a car, and all it does is spin the tires.
Yeah.
It's just stupid amounts of low end power, and that's why I think it's better in the truck.
To see the numbers tick as quickly as they do, and you're like in a fucking 7,000 pound truck, like it's pretty awesome. I don't know. For me, like more the excitement of the TRX is like the engine's sweet. But I've even almost like, I've debated like, man, if they do come out with that baby TRX, like they keep talking about with the 6.4 in it and no supercharger, and it would be like 500 horsepower NA or something.
It'd be cool.
Like, would I want that? And it's like, no, I still want the supercharged engine, and that's cool. But the whole rest of the truck is what's really awesome. Like the suspension on it, the fucking beefy trailing links for the rear axle, and like the massive springs, and like just how it all works in concert together. Like I have videos on my phone from when it was in development of like camoed TRXs literally jumping over like roads in the desert.
Yeah.
And that's like awesome.
When you get still the best truck interior too, so you get a nice place to be. You're not making the TRX is not making any compromise. Yeah. It is
except for fuel, and that's like the one compromise.
Sure.
If that's the only thing you can say,
and the fact you have to like imagine trying to parallel park that bitch in downtown or something. Like,
well, yeah, consider your circumstances before buying for sure. Like I'm probably just gonna park really far out in the parking lot. Honestly,
do you think you'll take it to the dunes?
Absolutely.
Cool.
I plan to this spring.
I think I probably told you, but
I'm gonna take Mason, Marissa, and Sean all together. I think I'm gonna leave Duke behind for that one since he doesn't need to be tossed around like that. He'd be terrified.
We had a TRX at the dunes, and we sent it over Test Hill. Chris Samos was driving, and we were almost to the peak, and he was going so fast because he's never had a vehicle. No, none of us had ever had a vehicle that powerful and capable out there. We've always had like his Lexus
something
GX,
that you had
where you need to get
it.
some. Yeah. And we're getting up near the top, and I'm like, we're gonna fly. Like I'm like, oh, you're not slowing down, and we fucking launched. I got to see if one of us has a video or something.
Didn't you say you like buried the front?
Well, that was later on in the day.
Okay.
Yeah, we fucking hit a rock hard and fucked up the front skid plate, but it still took it really well. Better than any other vehicle. It just drove right away.
Yeah.
But so much air.
I've watched
and it just landed down
like 10 times, by the way.
Fair enough.
Ready.
Yeah. It landed, and we were all like we had. Yeah, there was the actual airtime of just like weightlessness, and we're like,
Yeah. That's one thing I really haven't done is take flight in one. I've jumped some train tracks where I got like maybe like a
just
tire
enough
up a
to
little bit. Yeah, feel the like sensation of it taking the weight off, but didn't leave terra firma.
Cool. Well, that's gonna be really exciting, man.
Yeah, dude, I'm stoked.
So Max is no longer at Car and Driver.
Yep.
He's a free agent now.
Rider.
So he's going to be doing a little bit of insurance work starting at Progressive here next week. That'll be exciting. But maybe in about 6 months or so, we can trap him back into the car world once he comes clawing back.
We'll see what happens.
Once he can pay for his
like I keep
TRX.
saying, I mean, it's mainly just like as long as I can make my life work. I obviously love cars and trucks and all things with engines. Not so much motors, but engines, sure. I never thought that I would really not be working at Car and Driver, to be honest with you.
Planning on being there your whole life.
Yeah, it was kind of like somewhere I wanted to be forever. And just a lot of things changed with COVID and stuff. And like I'm sure even my colleagues that still work there could attest, like the industry is changing. Manufacturers can get the same out of a 3-car launch over a Zoom meeting as they used to, with having 100 people there and food and all sorts of stuff. Or at least that's what it seems like for many things. Like I wrote the whole launch for the Durango Hellcat, Challenger Superstock, and Charger Hellcat Red Eye, all off of a 30-minute presentation.
Well, I was at that drive event.
Yeah, I know.
They did a drive event.
But I know, that's what I'm saying. Like for us, though, at Car and Driver, where they're like not sending people to
that was probably
reason,
not a great move on their end.
Yeah, I don't know. And then,
things
you know,
changed.
they burned a lot of bridges with Jeep with all that Cherokee stuff, which I was 100%. I just want to get this out on the record. 100% against that.
That was bold. For any of you who don't know,
That person's not at Car and Driver anymore either.
Car and Driver took out a hit piece on Jeep about the Cherokee name, and you could debate how you feel on the subject. You know, anyone can have whether they agree or disagree that using the name is wrong. But from a business standpoint of a brand that literally brands themselves as irreverent,
Yeah. Oh yeah, they should take that out of the name. That's
a bold business move to go after someone. It's biting the hand that feeds you.
Yeah, I think most of the irreverence left by now.
Yeah,
It's mostly gone.
right. And we do have to mention Haggerty. I don't know if you've watched any of their recent stuff, but they're getting into the video game really well now, and they just came out with a CT. Fucking hate these names. CT5 Blackwing versus M5 CS versus Model S Plaid video. Very good.
Okay.
Very, very good video. He fucking loved the CT5.
You have to send that to me after.
Yeah,
so I
yeah,
check
really
it
good.
out.
And I also mentioned earlier the golf GTI video as well. It's Jason Camisa, and he's fucking doing a great job. He really is. And Haggerty's putting they had like drone shots of the cars drag racing, like everything, like out at the racetrack. It must have been at Willow Springs. Like,
so awesome.
they had Randy Popes doing like lap times. I don't know
still
if
alive?
I don't know if they poached him from Motor Trend, or maybe he wasn't exclusive from Motor
I
Trend.
don't think that.
don't know.
I think that he was more of like a consulting
like
type,
a contributor type. He wasn't like actual staff.
Yeah, yeah. Yes.
But really impressive stuff. So Car and Driver's getting a little more into the video game. We'll see if it's too little too late or if they catch up. We'll see.
yeah. Now I understand. You're saying the video game.
Oh,
I get
video
it.
game.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think that with the things that they're doing to get all that stuff going, I think
Getting rid of
that there's-
Max, step one.
Yeah, for sure. Get rid of my ugly ass.
I saw your position listed. I just so happened to check the careers page like yesterday or something.
Yeah.
You're up.
Assistant technical editor.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Have you looked? You haven't seen it?
No.
It's such a weird feeling. It's like reading your own eulogy.
This is my take: is that everything changing so much, and just like the less amount of cars coming through,
Yep.
and the lack of testing going on
Why
in
is there-
comparison to other years. I mean, you got to remember, like we used to do like 400 or 500 cars a year. It's a lot less than that now.
Why?
There's just not as many cars coming through.
Yeah. Okay. That's
Not
fair.
as many
There
cars
aren't as
coming
many
through.
press cars in the fleet.
Yeah, there's
there really
not.
are not.
Yeah, there's not. I mean, like they used to have a bunch of different trims of something. Now maybe they have like one or two.
Yep.
And that's really hurting someone as big as Car and Driver who used to have so many need so many cars. You know.
Yeah, 12 to 18 circ termers every week.
Yeah.
Well, every 2 weeks.
Well,
but
our long termers got down to like 5.
I saw you guys did not complete the Gladiator loan in time.
No.
I'd like to have it on the record that I obviously didn't have a pandemic, but you'd think that would make it easier for people to put lots of miles on cars because they could drive.
You know why?
They could
because
fucking
the
drive.
real car enthusiasts
are not there anymore.
aren't there
Yeah.
anymore. All
Yeah,
the
so they're
people
not-
that wanted a car in their driveway had
Right.
one in their driveway.
And we're not even just saying like
I
compared to 5
finished
years
my
ago.
X7 in 1 year from
Yeah.
January to January because I fucking drove it all over this
Yeah.
country. I drove it to South Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia. I took it everywhere.
Yeah.
And I just, that was like one of the beginning things. It's like, wow, you guys, like we're working from home or whatever that means now. Like, why don't
Should
you
drive more.
fucking go out somewhere? The first time they announced we were going to do that, Marissa and I went and got a cabin in Tennessee. I
Yeah.
did work for 2 days there.
Yeah.
But it was like $50 a day because it was so cheap. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it blows my mind, and that's kind of like one of the reasons that like all the car stuff was kind of falling apart is because people just want the cars to have them.
Yeah.
I wanted the cars to evaluate them, to do actual automotive stuff with, and that's
And it's not
just
even
the difference.
It's not
you
even
know?
just us. If you back up 25 years, they used to do like thousands of miles in a week.
Oh, I know.
On cars, they used to
I know.
like drive all the time. So it's not even like we are the best. Like
Oh yeah,
It's been a
yeah.
continual slope.
Oh sure, I think that right before you left was the peak
yeah,
when I was at SEMA. And, and then like the climax was SEMA,
Mm-hmm.
and then like the falling action or climax, I guess, was being at SEMA and being told that you weren't going to be there anymore.
Right.
And then like everything from there on, it was falling action. When
Yeah.
you really think about it, I went on a comparison test, that was cool,
Mm-hmm.
and then went to Italy, that was cool, and then
yeah. I think a cool trip you got to do was driving the GT350 long-termer to New Orleans for the wrap.
Yeah, that was really fun.
Yeah.
And like parking in front of like the Voodoo store and stuff, and like waiting. We waited an hour to get like the perfect shot, and like had to like keep people back and like.
See, that's a perfect example of something that works as an enthusiast outlet, but does not work as just like a car information site. Because no one just Googling like, what's better, the Camry or the Corolla, is going to care that you like went out of your way to find this Voodoo shop in New Orleans that was because the name of the engine was called Voodoo, and it's a very
those lines aren't even being drawn or connected.
Yeah. So at some point there was a decision made by someone to make Car and Driver no longer an enthusiast outlet, and just have it be trying to get as many hits on the website as possible.
Who do we think that was?
Well, it doesn't matter who it was. It happened.
Sharon. It was Sharon Carty.
Or Hearst Auto. Just Hearst
through
as the
the Hearst Auto.
I really do think it was before Sharon.
Yeah.
I think it was well before Sharon.
It was like when they forced Eddie out.
Well, I think they wanted Eddie to do it, and then Eddie. You say what you want about him. He's still a car enthusiast.
Yeah, he stood for the brand. He's like, I'm not going to do that. And that's like, well, we'll remove you and put someone in that will.
Right. So, I mean, Sharon had a job to do. Like, it's not like Sharon came in and made those calls. They told Sharon, like, this is what we're going to do with the company.
Right.
Do you want to come and get paid money to do it?
It makes me
or
upset,
do you not?
though, that she got all of these, like, kudos and stuff for the website getting more. Like, we were at to 15 million viewers or something.
Really?
Yeah, like, doubled almost.
Yeah.
Like, and she's getting all this credit for that when really it's just SEO optimization and our website finally being not a piece of shit. And like,
that
fuck,
is true.
maybe if you would have left Eddie in for 2 more months and done the exact same thing with the exact same people, it would have been even better. But you didn't. And now look where it is. Now you've got like 3 people in the top. Well, not now that she. Well, she's
gone.
Well, yeah.
This will come out after that.
Yeah, this will come out after that. But yeah, like, now they're like taking a step back, and I don't know. I feel like it's like they realize that they messed up, but it's like almost like it's too late. You've like your core people like Dan Pund, Jared Gall, Josh Jaco, like your
Eric Tingwall.
Eric Tingwall, the people
Max
that were
Mortimer.
mentoring me, that were teaching me like how to be the next level of editor are now gone.
Right.
And who's going to teach them?
Yeah.
Laura Sky Brown, Sharon Carty, the people that walk up to a GT500 and call it a Cobra, or like, ask if there's a V8 in a fucking Supra.
I do remember that. Yeah.
She asked me and Connor if there was a V8 in the Supra.
Yeah.
At 10 Best this last year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for the few people that are going to listen to this,
couldn't put the Tesla in neutral.
you can tell them I told you that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not a car enthusiast.
What the way I like to compare it is, say you're looking at the culinary landscape of a medium-sized town.
I'm very versed in the culinary world.
Right. You can have maybe 15 pizza joints in a town. You could have everything from your Little Caesars to your Mr. Pizza to your like little Italian pizza joint, and they can all coexist. And something like a Little Caesars is just trying to put out or Domino's trying to put out as many fucking pizzas as possible. Like they just make like, how can we get the most people in here? But then you have like your artesian type, and they're maybe making like the best calzone you've ever had, but like they don't advertise. They are maybe okay and can make money and have a very happy life with an eighth of the amount of volume as one of those big chains, because their margins are higher, they cost a little bit more. That's how I see an automotive enthusiast mag or outlet versus like just a big brand. And so Car and Driver, they made the decision they'd rather be a Domino's than a little mom and pop, like making like one of the best fucking pizzas you've ever had, but how are you going to know about them sort of thing?
I just think they could have been like
They could have been the small one if they wanted to.
What's it called? The pizza place that's in front of Meyer. Buddies. They could have been a Buddies.
Like kind of a unique
somewhere
place,
in between. It's like unique. It has good ingredients.
Mm-hmm.
People keep coming back because it's not just the everyday pizza. But you don't alienate the people that come for the good pizza.
Yeah.
With the shitty. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that is true.
I was seeing like there are different people that handle different parts. It's not like everyone's just like all of a sudden go to the clickbait stuff. But like the priority is on speed and getting clicks and stuff rather than like, here's a good story.
Yeah.
That like, and it's not like the two are mutually exclusive. I mean, I've written good stories under pressure in a quick amount of time before it can be done. So I don't know. I just feel like, you know, sometimes the push for numbers, for the quantity is just what like it kills it. And honestly, like I know I'm not the only ones, like even people that are still there when I say this, but people are just burnt out.
Yes,
you know,
I've heard that
like
a lot.
sitting at your fucking computer inside your house that you've been in for the last year and a half, you're seeing about a tenth of the cars that you used to. You know, keep in mind these people went car for the weekend, car, switching every day, and really having a good grasp for like every single car on the market. It's depressing when you get used to that kind of stuff. And I know it sounds kind of like a first world problem, but at the same time, you know, when it's your job to report on this kind of stuff, it gets really, really boring, and it kind of sucks the passion out of you to just sit there and just create the words without seeing the car, touching the car, having the excitement of the event. Like it's a creative endeavor when you make any sort of writing piece, even if it's something as boring as a, you know, like a pricing release story or whatever. And
if you take the art out of it, then it's a passionless
project.
project.
It just becomes this like passionless formulaic thing.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I saw Mike Sutton at a drive event earlier this year. It was in Chelsea, and I had the M3 competition, and he didn't tell me, but it was something spirited. It was something fast.
Yeah.
And he said he's writing on it, and he's going to plan on going up to the Loop afterwards. I was like, oh, I'm going up to film this M3 at the Loop after. Also, do you want to like grab something to eat after this, and we'll go up and everything? He's like, no, I'd love to, but I gotta I'm really pressed for time. I gotta go do it. And to be fair, that could have been Mike just, you know, fucking off. But he and I were talking a lot at the event, so it was like we didn't really want to, you know, stop. But it's sad that like I was doing it as a fun activity. I'm like, I'm gonna experience this car on the good roads, and I'm gonna get film of it. It's gonna create a good video that then is gonna go and
when you go to talk about it, it's gonna be like, I'm excited.
Yeah. He was like, I gotta go do this so that I can go and do the 15 other things. That's how you just kill passion.
And he's wonderful example of one of those people
burned the fuck out.
That's just fucking hates his life, dude. He does so much. He does so much. I mean, thank God they probably take good care of him, but like,
they must. Well, and like, I feel like, you know, I really like Mike Sutton. I feel like he could probably do better somewhere else. I think he's probably a little afraid, like, where would he go, sort of thing.
I think that's everybody, dude. Why? I think there's a lot of people that are staying just because they don't know where else to go. I decided to take a leap of faith. And
you're a bold individual.
It worked out for me.
Well,
you know?
I mean, it's been like a week, 2 weeks, but I think it'll work out.
It's working out for me so far.
You're doing another Daily Motor podcast.
If it doesn't work out,
I was wrong. There we go. It's on the record. Well, maybe someday the Car and Driver name will be so diluted that we can buy it for like $500,000.
Yeah, that'd be sick. And then we'll put Irreverent back on the cover since it'll surely be banned.
It'll just be our dick just slapped right on the front.
If you read the definition of irreverent in Google, it doesn't really line up with the values right now.
Yeah.
None of those people are irreverent in any way.
Yeah. Well, Car and Driver still has
and I'm not scorned.
Merit. And in the future, I would like to do, I think I might have mentioned this last time too, but I'd like to do an individual podcast episode at some point talking about the why you should like listen to and read and follow the tests done by big mags and why you should not, like the pros and the cons. Because there are like, Car and Driver still has the best testing. That's
you know, I mean, that's one of the reasons I keep going back.
Right. You know, like if you want instrumented testing numbers, if you really want to know what a car is capable of performance-wise, Car and Driver is still the place to go. And like you said a little bit ago, those editors have driven more cars than anybody. Like there's no other outlet that you literally get in a different car every single night. So they still have some of the best grasp of the new car market better than anyone else. I mean, but there's also other reasons not to follow, like groupthink and like editorial direction and things like that.
100% on both of those. But I think that oftentimes the tech department is like the fallback, like safety net of Car and Driver, because like Dave, Casey, and Dave, they just know their shit inside and out, and really are like on engineering levels of knowledge. And I mean, that's a very kind of ambiguous term, but like actual engineer.
They have the engineer mindset,
you know,
and priorities,
and like understand like deeper terminology, and you know like like scientifically understand like physics and stuff that's going on behind the scenes. But you know, you hear some of the things that other people say, and they're just like, whoa, no, no.
Like when Casey was trying to convince you that, which I think he's right, but that a wider tire doesn't make for any more acceleration.
Yeah, yep.
Mm-hmm. Which it took a while for me to think about that, but then I was like, when I really
you're not using the outer side of the content. It's nominal. I think there's a difference between 275 and 245 or so if you had the exact same tire.
Right, but the amount of contact patch, because you're still putting that amount of pressure, it's only widening in a lateral.
By a nominal amount. It's not like you get the full thing that you're putting down.
Yeah.
So
so that sort of mindset and them being like, no, like this is fucking tested, like, and all this stuff. And learning that sort of
thing. Like if I want to know what a car does for its numbers, that's where I go.
Yeah. Is Carolyn still there? I didn't see her name in the masthead. No.
She's been gone since the beginning. I haven't seen her in years.
Oh, okay.
And honestly,
she must have left right after me then.
I mean, no one's gonna listen to this that like knows her or anything. I think she might have died. I'm not even kidding. No, I'm not even kidding. Like, dude, 2 weeks ago, like the last time I was in the office, her stuff had just been like moved out of her office.
Oh,
and she had been gone since the beginning of COVID.
They would have fucking told. So you would have heard if she died.
It was like a medical leave or something though. So I don't know like what happened.
I feel like you would have heard if she
I don't know. I'll have to look in on that. But yeah, dude, I don't know.
I saw someone. I'm trying to remember what it was now. Someone on medical.
She's on Facebook.
Someone was on a medical leave of absence for something. I was gonna ask. Is that a car and driver? I don't know. Huh.
Probably not. I don't think there's anybody else.
I'm just trying to think of where else I would have seen medical absence. Whatever.
Jared.
Jared Gall, bless his legs.
Yeah, bless his legs.
He's still with that woman, though, so that seems good.
Jessica? He is?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They just did breaks over the weekend. I forgot you're not on Facebook.
Dude,
but,
I think that's a new girl.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. How long has he been with her?
It's been years. Like since he moved to Traverse City with her.
And found her? No. That girl's name was Ariel, and she is not with him.
Yeah, you're right. I think this girl's name.
So he found someone? That's great,
though, dude.
Oh, you have to show me a picture.
Yeah. Let me see here.
Yeah, I always see him playing GTA or Forza on Xbox.
Really?
When I sign in.
Oh, I can also show you this photo. The link I was telling you about, or whatever. It is Jessica.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then scroll up to the top of his feed right there. You'll see the post I was telling you about. PSA: Don't drive on bald tires.
Dude, this makes me so happy. What's the video that is there?
What video? I don't know. You can watch it. I don't know if I'm gonna play. I don't know if my sound's up. Oh, it is.
The Chevelle. Oh, dude, he looks so healthy. He's driving the Chevelle. It's all good. Fuck yeah. I love that car.
Yeah.
Dude, that's great. I wanna see him sometime, but I don't know if he wants to see me as much as I want to see him.
I bet he'd be happy to see you. Jared's a nice guy.
He's like the person that got me my gig. So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're right. You guys were both Celine boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll come back some point. Where's this? Here. There. That's what I was telling you about in the car.
Oh, wow. You weren't kidding.
Yeah.
That's the Wrangler Duratrack drag radial that they sell.
So, Corvette Z06. I am excited about that car.
Yeah, me too.
Also, I can't adjust my balls.
I want to know what that starting price is going to be, because I know Car and Driver was estimating not 30,000, like 90,000.
That sounds about right. I'd say 95. They'll keep it under 100.
Yeah, and I think that if you could get like $100,000 Z06,
yeah,
that could be a really good car.
Yeah,
man. I mean, I would do it up with all the aero. I just do it like all of the performance stuff and aero stuff, and then maybe a few dress ups on the inside, like carbon fiber trim and shit like that. But that engine sounds so fucking good.
That will be quite possibly the best car of 2022. Is it going to come out next year?
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's probably not that much competition anyway.
Well, let's see. What else is coming down the pipe? I mean, I'm not that excited about the Integra. I mean, Acura's been doing good things lately.
The Type S is good, but not great.
Right.
And I hope that it's better than that. I just feel like it's going to be like a gussied up Civic Si. I don't know.
Is it?
I think so.
I don't know. We're going to find out this week.
Yeah, I don't know. if they're using a turbo engine or if they're gonna. I mean, it's definitely not gonna be NA.
No,
you know,
yeah, it's a turbo.
It's probably got to be the 1.5 turbo from the Civic Si, right?
No, they'll put more power in it than that.
Are they gonna put the? I mean, it's not like it's gonna be an
put the
Acura
2-liter.
Type R or something.
Put the Accord engine in it, the 2-liter.
Well, that is the Type R's engine, just
put
with
that.
some different stuff. Maybe they will. If they did, that'd be really cool. Although.
I think it's got a manual.
Get to the edge of. I mean, what is it going to be? A Civic Type R? Are they going to put the same knuckle in it and stuff?
I'd be happy with a Civic Type R that's not a fucking boy racer car. That's actually like a mature Civic.
That's true.
You know, without the fucking rubber band tires.
I
and everything.
hate the interior on the Acuras though.
Why? What's there to hate?
It looks fine. It's just not easy to use. The infotainment's like. I'm talking about the TLX. It's like up and tucked into the dash, and you got the dumb hand controls there, and I don't know. There's nothing wrong with it per se. It's just not really up my alley.
I need a truck with a touch screen so I can put my Big Mac in the middle.
If you can't fucking put a good touchscreen in a car, or at least give 2 knobs, then I don't have to give you my 2 cents.
You heard it here. Max wants 2 knobs, not just 1.
Yeah, I need a volume and a tuning knob.
Yeah. No, I do agree. So many people are getting rid of the tuning knob, and they don't understand that just fucking give us
maybe the Civic
controls,
would have been on the 10 best list if it had 2 knobs. It still doesn't. They had an entire generation to fix it.
It's got 1 knob. Isn't that enough?
No.
I need 2.
It's like they gave you the knob for the volume, and it's like, well, you did that for the Insight like 1 model year later too. So like, what happened in the following 3 years? But that's fine.
Yeah,
no problem.
What else is coming down? Hummer.
I saw a convoy of those a couple of weeks ago, and it's fucking big.
Yeah.
It's a big truck.
Huge, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're going to get mouthed by a Hummer at some point.
Oh, no, I'm not. See, I'm looking forward to that kind of stuff. Like,
you are going to get mouthed by a Hummer at a stoplight, and you're going to be your dick is going to be sad.
No,
really
sad. It's not going to be that quick.
It's going to be it's like 3 seconds 0 to 60.
Well, I guess that means I have to get a pulley and a tune. I know just the people. I'm going to enlist the help of Livernois Motorsports and add more stickers to the truck.
There you go. It's going to look like a NASCAR by the time you're done with
this bitch is sponsored. That's why it's got so many stickers.
I would love a street build of a TRX, like street tires, lowered a few inches.
They're in the 10s already.
Really?
Oh, yeah. There's a guy that's got his at a 10.4 or a 10.3 right now.
But I'd like to see a track build. You know, like a racing track.
I think this is as close to it's not like handling. It's like drag radius.
But I'd like to see one like handling too. You know, like it could do like you take it to Gingerman and you're doing like $140 down the straightaway, and then you come to the corner and it's down a few inches and like the fucking the SRT 10.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So an
SRT 10.
You have to make like a whole new truck to do that.
Or couldn't you just put different springs and different tires?
You'd have to go to a lot of trouble. But yeah, you could like drop the whole. I just feel like with it having like all the special mounts for that suspension, you'd be better off just like swapping a Hellcat
into a
normal Ram.
Yeah,
but that would be cool.
GT. Have you seen that new Ram GT?
Yes.
Yeah, those are
cool.
And
I think that's something that they're almost kind of like flirting with right now. Like, do you guys want us to do this? Here's a GT. Okay. All it needs is the Hellcat.
Here's an idea. Dodge comes out with, on the same day, new Viper and street truck, like at the same time. And they're just parked next to each other, and it's like your ultimate garage right here.
Forgive me, but I would climax.
Yeah.
That would be automotive nirvana. I think there's a market for the truck, definitely. I mean, just like an SRT truck, that's definitely, there's a market for that. Mm-hmm. Especially now. There hasn't been anything like that for a while.
Maybe with electric vehicles, that's where it'll go. Because like you could just throw. That's the thing, dude. What was I driving recently?
The Viper, though. I don't know if it's gonna happen.
Yeah, it'll be a V6 turbo or a V6 turbo hybrid.
It's gonna be like the powertrain out of the Maserati MC20 or some shit.
Have you driven that yet? MC20?
No.
Has car never had one?
I don't know.
I think they sent someone on like.
It's more of a Mike Duff thing.
Yeah,
he does all the European cars. It does seem really cool. But
yeah, I think I'll try to get us one next year. That'd be cool.
It's got all the pre-chamber ignition and stuff from the F1 cars, which is pretty cool.
What was I gonna say? Not Viper, but
Viper.
I was driving the Kona electric recently, and I was just like
the tire fryer.
Yeah, tire fryer. And I know I've said this before, but power is not impressive anymore once you get to EVs. Yeah. You need to. Oh, it was the Audi as well that I was driving, the Audi RS e-tron GT. it's easy. Power's cheap now with electric. You can make anything go super fast from 0 to 60.
Now it needs to be unique.
And handle well and everything. And that's what the RS e-tron did really well. Is it actually was an engaging car to drive regardless of powertrain.
Yeah.
It like the way everything, it was not only fast, it handled well, it looked decent, like interior's cool. Everything about it was actually a genuinely good car. So we're going to see fast trucks. We're going to see fast fucking minivans because they're going to be electric. Like, so what else can you bring to the table? Can you save weight?
I think you need character.
Make it exciting? Yeah.
And I think you need to, eventually, that's the next hurdle for the whole electric. That, but also the weight. The weight thing.
Weight.
The weight
is
a big thing going forward.
Yeah.
I'm kind of a mind that I think that the electric hoorah train is going to run out in the next 5 years.
Really? What do you think they're going to switch to?
I don't think they're going to switch to anything. I think that oil is the second most abundant liquid on this planet, despite who might tell you differently. And
first is my semen, as we established earlier. Third is water. But
also, just a couple of years ago, we were oil independent. So I would venture
Are we not
to
still?
wager. Oh, no. That's why gas prices are up so high, because we're buying almost all of it exclusively from OPEC now.
Why? What changed?
Well, you want me to be honest with you? Biden said that we're going to start doing the OPEC stuff, and it was on the premise of that fracking and all that sort of stuff is bad for the environment.
But did we stop drilling somewhere?
I think a lot of permits and stuff were pulled, or that's the thing I'm wondering. Like, okay. I need to do more research on like the actual places that were doing it before and what they're doing now.
Okay.
But either they're selling it to different places now, or they're not. I'd be curious to know like what the actual reasons are. But I know that the oil is generally coming from OPEC and overseas. We're importing our oil mostly now.
Okay. Yeah,
and that's the dollar delta roughly.
Okay.
So, what spurred that?
You said you don't think electrics are going to be.
Oh yes. So I think that in the future, if there is changes in the minds of the people that run the show, or something, I really don't know what that would be, but I think if things change, I think that you could see the United States at least, maybe not the rest of the world, but the United States and the other big countries already are saying kind of screw you to the electric stuff, like Russia and China. So I mean, we'll see what happens.
Dude, China's got a ton of.
China has a ton of electric cars, but they are also the country that uses more gasoline and coal than any other country. So,
not per capita though.
Well, I mean, that you could make the argument for just about anything, probably, because they have the most people.
Right, they're still bringing it. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the thing is I don't think they're going to let
they have the most communist per people.
The communist people.
Communism per person is
gas
very high in China.
Yeah, the gas cars go to the rich people, and the electric cars go to the middle class. Because I don't think the poor people in China even have cars, to be honest.
Still bicycles.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm hopeful though. I don't really think like what. With there being so much gasoline, it's just hard to imagine a world wherein premium is $5 to $10 a gallon for the foreseeable future for the rest of my life. Yeah. I mean, come on. I'll fucking open up an oil well in the back of my house and buy property with it and like refine it myself if I have to, or switch over to E85. I don't know what I have to do, but yeah, I'm hoping to hold on to the gas for some time more. I just, the other thing for me is like I freaking love internal combustion engines, and anybody that knows about gasoline powered vehicles particularly is that there's just still so much untapped power in as far as technology. Like, what happened to switching to camless engines? I know that this is an endeavor that costs money, but so does converting the entire country to having charging stations and the grid changes and everything needed for electric cars.
So how would a camless engine work?
So you have solenoids that operate each valve and essentially have infinite gear. You could just change your cam on the fly. Yeah. It'd be like the Infinity's variable compression, but like on crack.
Yeah.
So you could have the most efficient and the most powerful in the same engine. Like you could access the entire range of its capabilities. You're not just beholden to that one cam profile you have, or maybe 4 or 5, however many variations you can have with, variable valve timing and stuff like that. So I just think that there's just still a lot more like technology to be tapped into. And still, you don't have to get rid of the electric cars or anything. Just stop forcing people.
I was going to say,
down the path,
don't you at least acknowledge that like electric vehicles as commuter cars are kind of better, like more enjoyable.
Maybe not better, but I definitely could see myself having a Model 3 in the future in
going through like a
third car,
bank ATM drive-through or something like that. Like just the fact that you're just silent. You're only using like. You don't have an engine just idling there doing nothing for like 85% of the time when you're in the drive-through or whatever, just to engage the torque converter and move slightly forward, and then you put your foot on the brake and stop the torque converter from spinning.
I don't even care about that kind of stuff.
No. I'm not talking from like an environmental. I just feel like the sound and the noise, just the general.
That depends on the car.
An electric motor is just so smooth to just literally. You turn it on, it pulls forward a little bit, and then you stop again. It's just like one pedal and everything.
The ease
You're
of
stuck
driving.
In traffic.
I do like one pedal driving. Like, I'm not going to lie. I spent a ton of time in our Model 3, and I really enjoy that car for multiple reasons. It's like as quick as a Scat Pack. I became really fond of the infotainment system and stuff once you get it all, once you understand it all. Mm-hmm. But the build quality is still shitty.
But we're not talking about that right now.
We're not talking about the build quality. But
talking about the driving experience of an electric vehicle as a commuter.
Because that's all
as a commuter.
Going into it is like I just feel like the being in that kind of a car makes me feel after a certain point like I'm in a fucking Orwell book or something,
Well, here's the thing.
It's sterile.
Sometimes we need an appliance. We all the time our microwave, refrigerator, toaster, things like that. You just you just want the best mundane experience. You want that to just fucking work. And just be the best of what it can be. And then there's other times you want excitement. You want your video game console or your gun or something like that.
Yeah.
You want that. That's your TRX. That's your internal combustion. That's your sports car, loud, everything like that. But for a commuter car,
I have two things.
Just give me an electric vehicle.
So one, I think the free market should decide. I just want America and the world to decide what they want to drive, and the corporations to go along with what the people want. Mm-hmm. Two, I absolutely can see merit on having an electric vehicle as an alternate car. Even just if Marissa and I had this S6 and the TRX, and then we had a Model 3 as a third car to go to the grocery store in and stuff, I 100% could understand that, see it, know it, and agree with it, and I might even do that in the future. But I just don't think, like, my big thing for them right now is just the lack of capability of charging and range and stuff. And I know that they're gonna figure that stuff out eventually.
Again, free market. The more people that want to demand it, that's when it should come.
And I think that just goes into I just want everyone to decide what they want. I feel like the last 5 years, there's been this real big push for electric vehicles. And like anyone that knows anything about electric vehicles knows that like these companies can all make electric vehicles till the cows come home, but it's the infrastructure that isn't there yet. And I personally don't think that should be necessarily like the burden of the taxpayer to handle.
And that's why I've liked Tesla. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't like everything about Tesla. They do things that piss me off. Yeah. But the fact that no more government handouts. It's no more tax credits or anything. So they've been selling their cars completely free. Just like free as like no help from anyone else. Yeah. And they didn't wait for anyone to build fucking chargers and everything. They went out and they said, we want to provide a product that is superior. And like, if people want to buy our cars, they're going to get a good product.
And it is superior.
Yeah. And look what, they didn't just wait around for any other, I
think I'd feel better if everyone was like that, if everybody was still in that stage. And I think once it gets to the point where it's full on 100% competition, then we'll see what happens. There was that story about like the supercharging equaling the fuel cost of the M340i, and like if you are one of those people that supercharges that often, that's something to consider. You can't turn a blind eye to facts.
No, yeah, that is true. If you were to, I haven't published the video, but I have a video queued up comparing the ownership, the whole entire like ownership cost of, say,
you have a charger, right, in your house?
Yeah. Okay. Ownership cost if you were to drive get a Nissan Leaf or a Toyota Prius. Excuse me, and for any sort of like highway driving or even like mixed driving, the Prius is cheaper.
Yeah.
Prius is cheaper.
Oh yeah.
But when it gets into luxury vehicles, that's where it starts to switch. I compared a Volvo XC60 plug-in because that's the best. I couldn't think of like the best luxury hybrid SUV that there was to compare against like a Model Y. Or pseudo luxury.
That seems like a fine.
I did XC60 plug-in.
You could do like a Lexus or something, I guess.
Oh yeah, I guess I didn't think of the
RX 450 or something.
Yeah, I should do. You're right. I should have done the RX 4. I still could. I haven't finished the video, but compared to the Model Y, and the Model Y becomes a lot cheaper.
Okay.
Because premium fuel,
Yep.
premium like costs and repair things and stuff like that. I mean, the Model Y is not really a luxury car, but it's
You
like
should run it
close.
with regular fuel too, just to see, because I think a lot of people probably filled like a RX 450 up with regular anyways.
Maybe an RX 450, but I guess I kind of wanted a Model Y is still very fun to drive. It's
Yeah,
still very sporty.
okay,
It still has
okay.
0 to 60 under like 5.5 seconds.
Maybe RX isn't the right car. Then
Yeah,
to
maybe
compare
I
to
should
it.
stick with the Volvo or something.
Yeah.
What would have been best is BMW X3 plug-in. They don't make that anymore.
Yeah.
But so the fact with an electric luxury vehicle, you get the performance and you don't have to do premium everything like that. So it's even cheaper. But yeah, if you want to just save money, you don't buy an electric vehicle. You
Right.
get a Prius.
Yeah. And honestly, like for the longest time when I was still looking at having a personal car, I was looking for an Insight or a CRZ.
Yeah.
Like I still part of me like really wants a manual one.
I kick myself. There was Don Sherman's son's
Oh,
blue
yeah.
Insight manual that they sold. They scrapped it. They sent it to the fucking scrapyard, and he offered
Did
it
it
to
need
me.
anything?
The hybrid battery was going in and out, but you could still drive it.
What's
Still
a new
100%.
What's a new battery?
I don't know, a few thousand.
I
Like,
would
you
have
could,
done that.
You could just drive it on the 3-cylinder.
Yeah.
Too.
I mean,
Yeah, they offered
get
it to me
yourself
for
a whole new
$1,000.
car with a battery.
They offered it to me for $1,000, but it was right after I got canned from Car and Driver, and I was just like, I don't
just
know
wasn't
if I
the
should
right
do
time.
that.
Yeah.
But then they took it to the junkyard. I was like, I would have fucking given you $500.
yeah.
Like,
yeah. Well, if you won't take $1,000 for it, Charlie, then you're not worth it.
well, Don said he's like, oh, they probably still haven't like scrapped it or anything. It's probably still down there. I'm like, they're not gonna fucking give me the car out of the
Yeah.
U-Pull lot.
What?
Like they're.
Someone
So I
I
should've
know
bought
said that
that.
they brought this here, and I
can I-
just missed it.
Right.
How much did he give it to you for? $2,000.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, yeah. And
Yeah.
So
it was
I'm-
clean too.
it was
wasn't
decently clean. It was like 200,000 mile car clean, but like still, I should have fucking bought that.
Yeah, they're really hard to find.
I know
Too.
they're gonna get harder and harder.
One of my
They don't rust because they're aluminum.
one of the road warriors at CD was he had a Veloster N,
Yeah.
Jacob. I don't know if you've met him before, but he had a Veloster N, and then he traded that in for a like 06 Accord manual with a V6 coupe,
Cool.
which is pretty cool. He got like wheels and tires for it and tints, so it's a nice car.
Yeah.
But he was looking at those for a long time, and he almost bought a CRZ, but it was like twice as expensive as the Accord.
Yeah, the thing is with the CRZ, it's not as efficient, it's not nearly as efficient as the Insight, so it's kind of less cool in a way.
Yeah.
It's still a two-seater and stuff. Someone had a CRZ at Car and Driver.
David Muller.
Yeah. And he sold it.
Yeah. The thing with Jacob is he really likes weird shit like that, and he wanted to do like the supercharger kit, the Mugen supercharger kit to it afterwards
I
too
gotcha.
and shit, which you can still get like 31 miles per gallon and have like 200 some horsepower.
Yeah.
But yeah, that just all fell through.
Gotcha.
So now he's obsessed with CT4V Blackwings and is going to buy one in the future.
I don't blame him. I've heard good things.
Working at Car and Driver, he probably won't be able to afford that for a while. But that's okay.
So we've got the Wrangler 4xE right now, or the 4xe,
yes.
and Max just saw how good it is off-road, or at least capable.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's one of those things you know, but until you like are reminded of like what it's like to do. I mean, we did a 30-degree incline.
Yeah, I'm
and
not
it
gonna
just
lie.
bzzz,
Like,
you know?
I've been down plenty of 2 tracks in my life and been around off-roading stuff. I haven't done a ton. That's partially like why I'm trying to like get into that now. But man, I was really like, I mean, you see plenty of press videos and like things like videos of Wranglers rock crawling and stuff, but like we went up a couple of those that was like, you go down into the creek and then you're like pretty much straight up, and like no real head start or anything, and it just literally crawled almost like what I perceived as straight up, in a vehicle like much steeper, and you wouldn't be able to go up of it, you know. So like it was fucking impressive. I have honestly, like, if it was like a 9 out of 10, Wrangler off-road is now a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I mean, it is the best off-roader still on the market.
It's narrow. It's relatively like nimble as
the
far
steering's
as like
light.
being in
You
a
can
trail.
just like and that was the four-door. You know,
Yeah,
a two-door
yeah.
would have been even nimbler.
Yep. And yeah, because you have the longer wheelbase and stuff, and the axles were locked.
We
and
went
all that.
we went over a crest that it was like, I think we just barely hit the underneath
it
the
wasn't
car.
even really like a hit. It was
No, it was just like a
the
graze.
lightest graze.
Yeah, whereas a two-door would have just gone up and over.
Oh yeah,
back down.
Yeah, I was really impressed by that too. Like there was 2 or 3 things that I looked at right before we went, and I was like, Are you making this right now? And then it was like literally didn't even really break a sweat for it.
Yeah.
So, and the powertrain with the turbo engine and the hybrid is really pretty seamless in torque and stuff. Like very similar almost to like the Eco Diesel's amount of low end torque. You know?
Yeah, that 2-liter turbo in the Jeep is surprisingly strong. Like it gets up and goes.
Yeah, and I mean, for most of the whole time, I couldn't even really hear any working from either party, the motor or the engine.
The fact that you can get the 4xe and the 392 Wrangler now, I mean, the Wrangler is sweet.
Yeah.
That's
Jeep's killing it.
That's what Ford, if they want the Bronco to actually be a success, they need to follow it up with more cool shit and not just try to let it live based on what it is. Because it's only cool right now because it's new. But it's a boring powertrain.
Yeah.
And the interior, you got to admit, it's very like Lego, like just
it
rattles and it's plasticky. The Wrangler interior is really nice.
For me, the Bronco only made it onto 10 Best because of the whole comprehensive package. There's so many things you can pick apart on that thing. Like
the whole package that you can't even buy yet because they're fucking sitting in Ford's development lots down the road trying to get parts.
Yep. Yeah. Well, we only had like one normal spec one that didn't even have like the GOAT package or anything like that.
Okay.
And the interior is just so like 40. Dare I say? I mean, all the switchgear is really cheap. So the design of some of it is cool.
It's definitely cool.
There's some cool materials on like the buttons on the top of the dash and stuff, and things like that. But yeah, I don't know. Overall, it did seem just kind of chintzy on the inside, and it's like, man, like you spend $50,000+, and that's like on the lower end of the spectrum, right?
Yep.
I would think. For something like this, and you expect it to be a little nicer. You know, the Grand Cherokee starts in that realm, and I know that they're not like the same thing, but the interior of the Grand Cherokee is like gorgeous now.
And the Grand Cherokee is going to be practically as capable as a Bronco. I mean, maybe not
unless
for
you
like
get like the
Warthog
Warthog unless you get like the Raptor or the GOAT package or something, like you can do almost everything.
For everything that 98% of owners are going to do, the Grand Cherokee is going to do fine. We had a Grand Cherokee L off-road, and it was great.
Yeah.
It was like
did it have air ride? This one?
Oh, we were 4 deep.
If you're in the market for a Grand Cherokee, go do it, unless you need to wait for the 2-row.
Yeah, or unless you want it to be reliable. As long as you're just going to lease it. No, I'm sure. It's just Jeep, dude. They haven't been great lately.
Well,
Jeep's like the new Land Rover. It's like the American Land Rover. They're nice, they're luxurious, they're capable, and
I haven't seen a ton of problems with stuff on them other than our Gladiator, which was almost all mechanical problems.
Well, I was going to say, I feel like the Bronco is kind of like the Gladiator now. When it comes out, it's awesome because it's running on all this hype. It's new, it's exciting. But you got to follow it up with both good engineering and stuff to make it exciting.
Yeah.
Gladiator at this point, like you guys the veneer has wore off.
Yeah.
And now you're seeing like it's got issues and it's really not that good
it's
of a
even heavier than a Wrangler.
Yeah,
V6,
just all these things.
V6
and
really
stuff.
isn't an appropriate powertrain for this.
Yeah,
like,
you can't really tow with it.
Yeah.
You know, all these things.
You can, but it's like then you're really like in danger.
Yeah.
Like, dude, Beard fucking towed an enclosed trailer with snowmobiles with that thing.
Mm-hmm.
Could you imagine how slow it was?
No, I'm sure.
I mean, you probably didn't even take it out of 4th or 5th on the highway.
Yeah.
Like you gotta. It just falls on its face.
So Ford is going to have to. They're going to need to do a plug-in hybrid. They're going to have to do,
they will.
a more powerful version. Hopefully, that's like rowdy.
I don't know.
Or else the Bronco's going to be a flop.
They did have a V8 powered Bronco at an event last week. That was like it was not a Ford.
It's like a SEMA car?
Yeah, it was like a SEMA car type, one-off thing. Mm-hmm. But usually when they do something like that, because it was at the press event, they're like hinting at something. So maybe they will do a V8 one. But what are you going to do? This is what I would do. Just put the Coyote in it.
Yeah.
But then that's the same power pretty much as the Raptor. So they won't do that.
They're not going to put a V8 in it, dude. They're just now barely putting a V8 in their Raptor.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. Ford is just off. They're just. I feel bad, but like Ford and GM, they've got a couple good things going for them, and the rest of it's all dookie.
Yeah, like GM needs to do something with the Equinox. It's their bread and butter car, and it's getting stale as fuck.
Yeah, dude, they've refreshed the outside of it like 3 times now. It's time.
What would you rather have, an Escape or an Equinox? Like, give me an Escape.
No.
What? You don't like the new Escape?
No, I was saying no, like generally to both.
The new Escape's pretty good.
It's okay.
And the Bronco Sport is very good, which is just a cooler Escape. And the Maverick, also on that platform, very, very good. Did you like the Maverick?
Kia Sorento. I haven't driven the Maverick yet.
You guys didn't have one at 10 bucks?
I'd take the new Sorento over a fucking Escape in a heartbeat.
That's fair. But Sorrento's more expensive, isn't it?
It's a bigger car
by a little bit. I'd take a Tucson over it. Dude, I don't like the only good thing about the Escape is it has decent driving dynamics and the steering's a little bit better than some things in its class, and it's got a good powertrain.
And white girls think it looks cool.
Yeah, every fucking white girl in Southeast Michigan whose parent works for Ford has one.
Yeah, so they'll sell a lot of them. Did you guys not have Mavericks at 10 Best?
No.
Dog.
I know. We had the Santa Cruz.
Because the Maverick was surprisingly good. That's honestly one of the vehicles that surprised me the most this year.
Does that have anything like in relation to the EcoSport?
No, it's the Escape platform.
Okay,
it's an Escape with it. It's just like the Santa Cruz is a Tucson.
Okay.
Good, yeah. Good. So I drove both the 2-liter and the hybrid. They were both good. The 2-liter is actually surprisingly peppy.
Okay.
It starts at $20,000.
Okay.
It looks ugly, but like aside from the grill, it looks cool. Just get past the back, and the interior is decently capable. Like it's just like it's cool. How many vehicles do you get in that cost $20,000 anymore? And you're like, this is actually pretty sweet.
Yeah, not very many. That's for sure.
I expected it to not be very good, and it was, and that's what excites me is when I have low expectations, and then I'm surprised.
Have you driven GR86 or BRZ yet?
Yes, only on track. We're getting the 86 manual. No, we're getting the BRZ manual next week.
Okay.
Is that pretty good?
Oh yeah, I love both of those cars.
And I heard the manual's
low
kind of
5
shitty.
0 to 60. So like it's actually got some.
Have you driven the auto?
No.
All right, I heard the auto's not nearly as good.
I can believe that.
Yeah. Also, the 86 pipes in like shitty sound, doesn't it?
I think they both might do that. You have to pull a fuse if you want.
Okay.
I just roll the windows down or something. But the power and the power curve and the linearity of it is much better.
No, I drove one on track and I thought it was surprisingly fun. Like just good, good family fun.
It's kind of like taking that spiritual spot that the Miata had for so long on the list, but just even more serious and capable.
Yeah. That's fair. No, Chris Amos went on the press drive and he really liked it because he had an 80 or a BRZ for 5 years.
Yeah, I remember that. He had like an E85 tune.
Not quite that strong. He just had headers and a few things. Okay. All it pretty much just did is it made it sound a little better and smoothed out the torque curve.
Okay, I thought so. The exhaust is what smoothed it all out. No, I could have sworn that he said he had a tune with E85.
No,
that made it better.
Not E85. He may have had a tune, possibly.
Maybe they just had a tune.
But it was not an E85 car.
Okay,
it was fairly mundane, but it just made it proper. Kind of like, and so he said it's like the new car is just right now.
Yeah.
It's better in that way.
Essentially like what I did with the WRX. Like what you should do whenever you buy a tuner car or like something that you just want to make better.
Right.
You take away the emissions equipment and block it off and then make it breathe better and then retune it.
Yep. What else is we're getting Escape plug-in next week as well. That'll be interesting. I haven't driven that.
I don't think that how do I say that now that I don't work there? We didn't get one when I was there.
There you go.
Yeah. I know that we had the Escape Hybrid, which Chandler botched the HFE on. Will he listen to this?
Probably. Oh, no, maybe.
Hi, Chandler. But yeah, no, that's the last time that I drove any sort of hybrid Ford was that and the Hybrid Explorer.
I didn't realize Chandler worked there that long, but I guess he was there after me. Yeah, I guess he did work there for a while.
Yeah, he worked into the spring.
Yeah, okay.
Like May.
And it was right after Car and Driver that we got the Escape Hybrid. Yeah, the Escape's been out for a while now.
Yeah.
We had an F-Pace SVR a few weeks ago. That car was fun.
I know you like those. I've ridden before with you. Rode
tuning.
with you before.
They just sound so good.
Yeah. Remember leaving Rolling Sculptures in that grabber blue color-ish one?
That was fun.
Yeah.
We also had the 911 Turbo S, and holy shit.
Yeah, dude.
I think if there's a car, I'm not saying this is what I'd want to own, but if you had to, like, if an alien species came and said, what is your best, best example of the automobile? 911 Turbo S. Because think about it. It's luxurious. It's crazy
you mean like
good to
top
drive.
Tech, like the
just
the highest?
like if you had to just holistically, if you tried to combine every possible criteria of
Viper ACR.
of what makes a car. No, because Turbo S has 4 seats. Turbo S is more luxurious. Turbo S is still for sale right now.
Well, what are you trying to show the aliens?
It just like if you could literally only show them one car, they wanted to see the most impressive, just like
That is so subjective.
that wraps everything. Think about it, dude. It
is. I know. What
It drives.
Saying, it's like the newer version of the 959. It's got it's got all the different traits.
It's
and
so fast, just
yeah.
bonkers fast. You guys tested 0 to 60.
Yeah.
And 4 seats. Well,
they did.
Yeah. 4 seats, even though you can't really use the rears as an adult, but still they're there.
Yeah.
If I had to get
2+2.
Yeah. Very luxurious, very beautiful, very good to drive still. I mean, it's just like it's just so good. It was really good. And cheaper than a lot of exotics that it stomps on.
I had the Turbo S for 3 days, and it was fucking...
You'll never forget those 3 days.
No, it was really special. And my neighbor across the street's like a Porsche Slappy. So I gave him a ride, and I think the launch.
What does he have, like an 86 944 or something?
No, for a while he had a 14 Cayenne GTS, the last
really?
one, the last one with the V8. It was pretty cool. It was like red with carbon interior and everything. Now he has a CT6 3-liter
That's kind of cool.
turbo.
CT6 is cool.
He wants like a 718 Cayman GTS or something in the future. But he's like, this car changed my view on vehicles entirely. The launch control on that car though, it squirms for traction. It's not just the boom hit.
No,
go.
It doesn't yank you back.
It's it's got that boom, and you feel the tires lose it, and that's why it's not the full suck the whole time. But as soon as it regains it, it's just
and just continues.
Yeah, and God, it's brutal. That's probably my favorite launch control in any car I've ever driven, and it is by far the quickest car I've ever driven.
I think I like AMG launch control a little bit better, but I know what you mean. Just I don't know, GT63S or something
sure. I don't necessarily mean the system. I just mean more the sensation of that launch.
No, that's what I mean too.
Okay.
I just think the AMG launch, just the brutal shifts you get out of an AMG. It's just more visceral.
The shifts are a little bit more visceral. I agree, but I
like the Porsche one too.
My top 3 launches, I think, are all in Porsches. 911 Turbo S, Panamera Sport Turismo Turbo SE Hybrid.
God, what a fucking name.
Yeah, blah, blah, blah. And then what was the? Oh yeah, GT2 RS, and that's probably the quickest rear-wheel drive launch that I've ever had. So.
I finally got to drive a Boxster Spider.
Ooh,
and they are
creamy.
It was
that has ITBs, right? Or isn't there something different about the engine? Oh no, I'm thinking of Speedster.
Oh yeah,
911. Yeah. No. So it's just the normal 4-liter in that one then.
Well, it's got more power than the other 4 liters.
Oh, okay.
It's got a higher red line by 200 RPM.
Okay.
And so
does it actually go to 9,000 or something? Or
not that high, but I think it's 8,000, and I think the GTS goes to 7,800.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's still, it's...
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Yeah, because I know that the GTS is significantly lower than a GT3.
Yeah. No, it's not like that. But still so good.
Yeah.
And I drove the new... It was the Boxster 25th anniversary trip. And so we drove the GTS, the T...
I love the T.
The 25, which is kind of cool because it takes a GTS 4-liter, but it adds short throw shifter... some new suspension bits and everything. But what makes the Spider so good is it actually has the front end geometry of a 991 GT3. Yeah, 991.2 GT3. So it steers better than the other Boxster. Yeah, the turn-in's really good, and the red line's a little higher, and oh my gosh.
Is the exhaust slightly different too?
Not really. It sounds about the same, just with... In the GTS, you're driving it and you're like, oh, damn it, is that the red line? Shit. When the Spider, just that extra 200, it's like the new Miata that just allowed you to go a little bit higher, and it makes a difference. So
that's cool. I know Michael Aaron had the Speedster. What's it called?
Speedster or Spider?
Spider. Sorry, okay. Yeah. They're the same. They're like this. They have
similar.
The same spot in the different lines. But he had it for most of our time because I think he was doing social and stuff. So I didn't get to drive it.
Fuck you, Michael Aaron.
God damn it, Michael.
I'm just kidding. But, I want Michael Aaron to come work for me. I think if there's anyone aside from you at Car and Driver who would come, I think Michael Aaron would be perfect.
Michael's great, dude. I love him. He just moved back to out east.
I know.
It
was literally
still with Hearst, but
I saw him at a BMW event.
Okay.
And it was the first time I'd seen him since I left. And I was like, hey man, I had reached out to him a month or two before. I was like, do you want to get lunch sometime? Because I was going to pitch to him. I'm like, dude, you could come work for me and we could legitimately do stuff. And I was like, do you want to grab lunch sometime? He's like, I'm actually moving next week. I'm like, fuck.
God damn it. Yeah, because there's a bunch of Michael Aarons floating around,
Right. But he's going to come back. He was coming back to Michigan because his girlfriend like is doing school out there
Yeah,
or something.
yeah.
But her family's from out here. So
after Shira is
Yep.
done with school.
Yep. But no, it's just like don't get me wrong. I want you or Nathan or someone like that to like be on my team as well. But if I needed the most help with anything right now, it's things like video editing and like social media stuff and all this thing. Like Michael Aaron's literally like perfect for that sort of thing.
Right.
And I mean, unless you wanted to get real good at Premiere, like real quick, I'm not saying we don't have the capacity. I just don't think it's your passion.
Oh yeah, I have
and like
the capacity for anything, but if I don't have the passion for it, I just like will not.
I'd rather you come on as like the third person, like when there's actually time to do testing and like just car evaluation.
Dude, if I could test cars again one day, I'd be so thrilled.
Dude, we will do it. It's something that we have the equipment, we just need the facility and the access, and then like. And then a place to make money doing it. Yeah. You know? Like, it's there.
Yeah.
It'll happen.
We just need to get the programs and stuff, and...
We don't need that. We already have VBox. Like, yeah. What else have we... Oh, drove the McLaren GT. That was cool. Big surprise.
I haven't driven the GT.
It's just like it's like a softer 720.
Yeah.
Yeah, with more space. Supra 2-liter. Kind of
How much
disappointing.
power is the GT?
I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's fast.
600
something. Super 2-liter. Kind of a disappointment.
Don't like.
No.
Don't like.
Kind of stupid.
Way oversteer happy. Like breakaway. Like.
And for what?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you just get an 86?
Yeah, I don't know what. It's weird too that one was so touchy like that, but the 3-liter had completely different suspension tuning and stuff.
Well, in the way I see it, the Supra does have a lot of compromises. I know you drove it for a long time, probably more than a lot of people, and you were decently comfortable by the end. But like the interior's a little cramped. It's only 2 seats. Like you have to make a lot of compromises for the Supra. So if you're getting a 3-liter motor, it's more okay to stomach those compromises.
Yeah.
But if you're only getting the 2-liter. Why wouldn't you get an 86 that has 2+2 seats? Or why wouldn't you get a Miata that's got a convertible? Or like, just...
That's why I think the
Or
Supra...
a Veloster N or a Civic Type R or something.
The Supra's like really... like were you around when I was just like bitching about it all the time still? No. About how it's not like anything like the old one. It's,
oh, maybe like at the beginning.
Yeah. Not a real Supra, all that stuff.
Definitely
all the time.
Yes.
I can't, I've really come around to that car in general. Like... It's a good car.
Yeah.
It drives well. It has good intentions. But you look at the FT1 concept.
Yeah.
It's about the size of a Mustang. And so is the old Supra. And, I think it's a letdown to the people that would have wanted to buy that car. Like now the new WRX is out and it looks like a feminized WRX that's like just about to turn into an Outback, okay? That is what the Supra is now to the old Supra. I'm not saying it's bad, but what people wanted was a Mustang-sized Supra that still had a manual, which I hear they might do. Who fucking cares now at this point?
Yeah.
Come out with it and spend the money that Toyota has. They're one of the largest automakers on the planet. Mm-hmm. Be a big boy and go design your own turbocharged inline 6 and make it have like 450 to 500 horsepower so it can compete with those kinds of cars, and then give it an interior that's worthwhile, make it cost a little bit more than maybe it has to be a little bit more expensive than some of the cars that are American that have more power. Mm-hmm. That's how it is for everyone.
Yeah.
But then the people that are like, man, I really like Supras and like, remember that from their childhood and stuff and like remember the gauges and just like the way that they could have made it such a slam dunk home run. It would have cost more money, but it would have made 3 times the more sales. Like if they would have done that car right, I'd be telling you right now that the car I get after the TRX might not be a GT500 or a Z06 or something. Maybe it would have been a Supra. Maybe I could have been building a 3JZ, and throwing a big turbo, like any of that kind of stuff. Like that's what bummed me out the most about that car.
That's what I respect and appreciate about GM doing the Hummer is what they said. Mary Barra said to the engineers, make the best off-roader possible. No, like don't hold back. It can be expensive, whatever powertrain you need, just do it.
Yep.
And look how cool it is. People are people will take out kidneys to buy that thing.
Yeah, and the Supra is like the exact opposite. It's like do what you can within this budget and like just try and do what you can.
Right.
And when you put limits on something like that that's so special, you can see it.
The only cars that build brands are the ones that probably shouldn't have been done.
Yep.
But they're so good. Like think of like
the Viper.
Look, I know this is a silly example.
They did that behind the back of the CEO at the time.
Yeah, like Ford GT. Even though the GT launch was kind of shitty because the way they did reservations and everything, like no one knew that was fucking happening. And then Auto Show, they roll it out and everyone loses their minds. They shouldn't have, but they did. And and it's things like that actually like build a brand and make it cool in people's minds.
I agree, man. That does kind of bum me out now that you've made me think about that again. Go look at the FT1 concept, guys, and tell me that's not a better looking vehicle, though, with much more promise.
Yep. Mercedes-Benz S-Class. So fucking good.
Yeah.
I did not expect it to be that. Don't get me wrong, I've always liked the S-Class, always knew it was good. But like you get in one and it's just amazing. Did
we talk about it last time and you hadn't driven it yet at that point, I think? Because I think I had one like 2 months ago or so.
They're so good.
Yeah, I had the 580.
Yeah, that's what we had.
Yeah, the black one or the dark colored one?
Silver. We had a silver one.
I don't think mine was silver. I don't know. Either way, though.
Yeah, there's multiple. I know there.
It was great, and I really liked a lot of the technological stuff, like the depth in the screens and stuff.
The 3D bullshit.
Yeah, like that all was really cool, like kind of gimmicky but cool. But what I did notice is that despite how great it drives and all of that now, it just felt like it kind of sold a little bit of its soul off a la GTI, you know? But for different reasons, to like be on this, you know, this always cutting edge. I
think less so. I agree with you, but definitely less so than GTI because I still don't think.
Oh yeah. No, I just mean in this kind of like the same realm. Because I think that what I used to love about the S-Class, and I've only really experienced one gen prior in good detail, but the last S-Class was like a Mercedes that still honored its past.
Yes.
Still had those vents. Still
I liked the big open dashboard of that wood grain.
Yeah, but it had that long, infotainment that they had just started, and it was kind of like a perfect amalgamation of old and new, and now it's like fully new, and I just don't know. Like it looks great, but there was a little bit to it that I was just like, man, I wish there were more redundant controls here. Yep. I wish that it wasn't all touchscreeny.
I liked the scrollers that the old Mercedes had on the wheel for volume and stuff, and now it's the stupid
haptic button thingy, slider or whatever it is.
No, I totally agree with you that I would rather have the interior and the general layout of the last gen.
Yeah, but it is great.
But it's still, I still just appreciate how.
And it's quick too. It's like so for the 580 fast. Is like fucking sub 4 seconds.
We had the 580. The McLaren GT and the Audi RS e-tron all in the same weekend.
Oh my gosh!
And dude, we were keeping up with the person in the Mercedes was like doing back roads in Sport Plus mode, and obviously on like a long straightaway, the other two would walk, but like only for a second, and then it would be right back up, because you have to drive you can't drive to your limit on the road, so. Maybe the McLaren was doing like 5/10 around a corner, and the Mercedes was doing 8/10, but it was still like
staying there. Yeah. So it has all that active anti-roll bar stuff,
and you're still getting a massage and the air fragrance, and one of the best sound systems I've ever experienced. Like that car for $120,000.
You feel like a baller driving it for sure. I mean,
and it's still subtle. People aren't gonna like look at you and be like, "Fuck,"
If you know, you know.
Yeah, exactly. So that is in running for my best car of the year. Is the S-Class.
Okay. Yeah, I like the S-Class a lot. Dude, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think the best car for 2021. This year is the CT5V Blackwing.
The thing is, we're going to be doing...
Best truck is obvious.
Yeah. We're doing our Car of the Year award on December 7th.
Okay.
And we're not going to have a CT5 or 4 by then. So we've asked Cadillac multiple times.
Telling them that it hinges upon that?
No, because no one gives a fuck about Daily Motors.
Well, come on. You got to throw that in there at least.
Just I might.
Try in the pitch. Be like, just so you know, I'm about to do the Car of the Year, and I've done this many cars this year.
It can win next year. It'll be eligible next year because it didn't show up this year.
How long are they going to make it for?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. But we'll drive it at some point.
I know that it's not going to be like a 1-year wonder, but
we're booked out for a while. Although we do have an opening on the 29th, so maybe I could ask for it that week.
You should weasel it in, Charlie.
I'll give him one more.
What's it going to be if not? Something far lesser, I'm sure.
Yeah, I know. Well, the cool thing is, I don't know if you watched last year, but we do it bracket style and we do it live. So we pick 64 of the cars.
I love that.
That we've built, and
you go through it together.
Yeah, live.
Yeah. Oh,
so
dude.
it'll be me, Chris, and Chris.
Oh man, that's awesome.
And we're gonna be in here, and we're just gonna have the bracket up there, and then it goes one to like.
There's a fourth seat in here.
Well, maybe we'll see.
I've probably driven most things.
Exactly. Yeah, and we just go through and we'll try to put some cars that are a little close together. Like maybe we'll put Pacifica versus Carnival.
Sure.
Which one would you
so
pick?
that they're not like
And you
meeting
argue
each
it.
other at the end or something.
Yeah. Pacifica versus Carnival, and then which one wins? So last year it came down to the final four were C8, CX5, AMG GT63S, and Lexus LC500 convertible.
Okay.
Yeah, so those four had to duke it out. And
C8.
LC. The LC1, dude.
Dang.
Have you driven
Is it
the
just
convertible?
because it's so awesome sounding?
Partially,
Yeah.
but have you driven the convertible?
Oh yeah. I had it for a week.
Okay,
Yeah, it was great.
So it looks better than the C8.
It looks cool.
You gotta admit, it looks better than the C8.
I love the styling of that car.
Yeah, it looks better than the C8. It has 2 more seats. It has you can get a convertible in the C8. Yeah, okay. Similarly priced, but it's gonna hold its value much better than the C8.
Think so?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's way less of them. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. And think of like total baller status. If a year from now or whatever, you pull up to like store, anything like that, car meet or something with an LC500 convertible in like that cool orange or beautiful red versus a C8 in like a year, no one's going to give a fuck about a base C8 2LT, Stingray or something. Okay, 06 may be different, but C8, whatever.
But
you start to see them
so
all
many
over the
people
place.
have seen them, and
Yeah,
it's starting to be,
and it's kind of weird, whatever.
I think the LC
it's a
will
good
hold
driving
its-
car, but like, LC500 is going to be special forever.
Yeah, it's
And
just
that's
a
why it
very
won.
eccentric car too.
Exactly.
In
And that
general,
sound.
like when people see the LC500,
Yeah.
it's like I've never even seen one of those before.
Yeah.
It kind of like has like some LFA looks to it. Not that I'm saying it looks like the LFA,
But it's got it's family resemblance.
But yeah, it has some resemblance to it. And then you hear the V8, and it's like I'm gonna say probably top 5 of best sounding V8 out there right now by far.
And tell me that like that week that you had the LC, it's so much better than the C8. It's just being a calm cruiser too, because it's luxurious inside. The interior is beautiful.
The thing about that car I do like is similar to the TRX in that you can have fun without doing like you don't have to break the speed limits insanely or like be doing just the craziest shit. Like you don't need to be choked to come. You just need to like maybe just like a kiss on the lips from a beautiful woman.
And it's got a limited slip diff if you get the right option, so you can slide around. And so LC won last year.
Yeah. Okay,
so
that's
we'll
not a bad one.
No,
that's not a bad
good
one.
car.
I'm pretty sure it was like C8 and LC500 for our feature on like burning the last gallon of gas if gas was gone.
There you go. Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we're gonna get wrapping this one up. We'll be back at some point here soon. We'll see if we can pull Max away from the insurance biz soon.
I don't
here.
work on weekends.
Weekends, and maybe evenings. We can have a few drinks or something like that.
Yeah, for
Max
sure.
has to get his lazy ass a car so he can fucking drive down here instead of me taking him.
Should be getting a VIN number pretty soon here.
Yeah,
So.
VIN number. Come on, Max.
Yeah,
It's a VIN.
you're right. That is because it's a vehicle identification number. Sorry, guys.
No more credibility. Have to cut that out. But
You just cut it right when I say VIN. VIN, and then on to Charlie's
There you
words.
go. Thank you all so much for watching, especially you members. You're going to be seeing these before anyone else. Who knows? These might not ever be released to the public. You never know.
Exclusive.
But you guys get them. So thank you for supporting Daily Motor week in and week out. And I'm going through the extra editing work and everything to get you guys video footage so you can see fucking our dumb faces.
Maybe
sit
I'll be
here and
skinnier
roll
next
back and
time.
forth. Yeah, you guys can keep.
Keep tabs on my belly.
There you go. You guys can measure it from the camera.
Yeah.
But we'll see you on the next one. So thank you, Max, for coming on in.
Anytime.
And
dude.
all of you can drive on.